Some more great information. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Welcome everyone, this is Josh Rubin from East West Healing and Performance. Don't forget to go to our website to download your free ebook called The Stress Reduction Manifesto, a guide to using food to restore thyroid health. Today we're going to be talking about the benefits of eating fruits and roots. Why do we want to talk about that? Well, probably because we talk to a lot of people, whether they're working with us or not, that think, well, there's a lot of people talking about this on the web, that think eating fruits and roots together cause some issues. We actually completely disagree with that, because if you really look at functional physiology and how the body works in itself, it just doesn't make sense. So before we go into it, the benefits of eating fruits and roots together, or just eating fruits and roots, there's 3 rules. The first is making sure that if you have fruit, always make sure it's ripe. If it's not ripe, cook it. If you don't want to cook it, wait till it's ripe. If you eat fruit and it's not ripe, you easily can create more, let's simplify it, digestive inflammation and more burden on the GI system and the hepatobiliary system. Number 2, roots always have to be overcooked. Do they have to be mush? No, they just have to be overcooked. The more cooked they are, the easier it is for you to digest starches, because starches are really hard to break down. The less burden there is on the GI system, and the less chance you have of creating any type of bacterial overgrowth, etc. Really the food? Or is it the body we're putting it into? How we're using the food that's causing the problem? My opinion, it's how we're using the food and the body that we're putting it into that's the problem. It's not really the food. Number 3, there are no rules. This is about individuality. So everything I'm going to be talking about depends on the person, the healing phase they're in, the state of their GI system, what they can handle, how many carbs they can handle, etc., etc. The goal here is when you enter the healing phase to realize that if you give the body what it needs, nature will do the rest. This is quoting Andrew Taylor Still from the 1800s. And was still trying to figure out. The body's always trying to create health. And if you listen to the body, it never lies. You can listen, you can log, you can take body temperature and pulse. There's many ways of listening to the body to create awareness through creating a relationship with food. I guess we could say the 4th rule is always making sure that you have a protein with a carb, a protein with a fruit, a protein with a root, or a protein with a fruit and a root, whatever you want to call it. But always making sure you have that within your meal. Of course, there's always fat somewhere in there. So the first benefit of eating a fruit with a root is when you combine fruit with starch, you prevent an insulin spike. What happens with this is you're regulating blood sugar, you're increasing thyroid hormone production, and you're increasing overall ATP production, CO2 and water, which is energy. That's what we want to do, because if we're in an energy producing state, then the body's actually creating health, which allows us to regulate blood sugar. So we get a stable balance, or more kind of dynamic harmony in our physiology versus just having starches or grains. So when someone might say, I can't do potatoes or whatever, they don't work for me. But they don't work for you. Maybe you need to eat less of them and pair them with a fruit. Number 2, the second benefit of eating fruits with roots is starch alone sometimes in some people can actually cause fermentation, especially if you don't overcook it. Starches feed bacteria in the gut if they're not digested quickly. They increase hepatobiliary stress, which is liver stress, creates increase in endotoxin, overall inflammation. And of course, bacteria thrive on starch. And that's why we said, is it the food? No, it's how we're cooking it. So if you're in a hypometabolic state and you can't utilize it or feel like it doesn't work for you, maybe you need to really overcook it to make it work for you and eat less of it at a given time. The third benefit of eating fruits and roots is fruit alone sometimes can't provide enough energy. You know, fruit is a great source of energy, but it's a short-term source of energy. So sometimes when we pair it with a root, we can actually get more sustained energy over a longer period of time, because the starches provide us with a more longer sustained energy over a longer period of time. right? But there's those people that say, well, I just can't have starches alone. I just crash. Well, maybe getting that extra fructose in the fruit will actually benefit you, not create that insulin spike, and allow you to regulate your blood sugar. The fourth benefit of eating fruits and roots together, or just eating them, is sometimes sugar-sensitive people usually react to one type. Oh, when I have fruits, I just crash. Oh, when I have roots, I just crash, right? Well, maybe combining them will actually give you that sustained energy over that period of time. Maybe you're not getting just the fruit, it's easy to break down. You get that sharp burst and then you tank. And then maybe when you eat just starches, you get too much glucose and then you go up and then you plummet. Maybe that combined works better for you when you're actually sugar sensitive. The fifth reason or benefit of having fruits and roots is starches alone sometimes can be flattening. As I mentioned, they contain more glucose than fruits. Fruits are higher in fructose than glucose. There is glucose in them. This is actually sucrose. This is a disaccharide. Fructose plus glucose equals sucrose. Roots have more glucose. So sometimes when you eat starches, it can cause like a flattening effect in your mood or your blood sugar or whatever. So sometimes adding a little bit of fruit will actually create more harmony or balance. The sixth reason or benefit for having fruits or roots is sometimes you're coming from a paleo background. Sometimes you're coming from a ketogenic background. But you want to start utilizing carbohydrates.
Which makes a lot of sense because we're human and we need carbohydrates to actually store energy, produce energy, convert thyroid hormone, and feel better. But
we have to go slow, right? We have to add these things in slowly. So sometimes when we haven't had starches for a long period of time, if you just all of a sudden add them in, you're going to crash. The body can't process them because you've actually downregulated the enzymes in your body in the small intestine to actually be able to break down sugar as well as store sugar. So you have to go slower. So sometimes when you have starches alone, you get that crash. And adding in the fruit, once again, will actually allow you to create more of a sustained balance over a period of time because you're getting that addition of fructose and it's easier to break down than just the starch. If you really want to sum this up and think about it, there's a huge benefit of eating fruits, roots, or of them together. The point of this is eating them together is we get a much steady regulation in blood sugar. We don't get a hyperglycemic reaction. We take the burden off the GI system. We take the burden off the liver hepatobiliary system. We allow our body to increase its energy storage. We allow our body to increase thyroid hormone production. We decrease the amount of toxins that are produced in the body, as well as we increase our body's ability to upregulate energy production, which is health. So hopefully you enjoyed this YouTube video. I'm out.